It's hard to overstate the challenges that Boeing faces right now. Big challenge with them is the fact that the big plan had been this year that they're going to finally start increasing the number of 737 MAX production. But then the Alaska Air event happens, and now they're restricted to 38 deliveries a month, or 38 production aircraft a month, which certainly puts a cap on their potential earnings and creates dilemmas for the supply chain. Other issues, the 737 MAX 7 and the 737 MAX 10 have yet to be certificated, and it could be some time. It could be quite a while before the 7 is certificated, and that's a very important aircraft for the key customer Southwest. Further to that, I mean, Boeing really has to try to really get its quality control under control, basically, because this is a real issue. They can't really afford to have any more mistakes like this, and the fear is, of course, that you had the famous MAX issues a few years ago. Now you've had this door issue. And of course, the fear is there might be other things that are lurking in the system. So they really need to get that sorted out. So just basically a lot of kind of negative headwinds for Boeing.
Indeed. And Greg, what will this production cap mean for Boeing's financials and for the overall Boeing supply chain? Do you see a material impact here?
Certainly, because Boeing makes most of its money when an actual aircraft is delivered to the customer. There are sort of payments made during the production process, but more generally, the big payment comes when the airline actually gets its hands on the aircraft. And the 737, is basically the MAX is a redesigned or updated version of the MAX that was around since like the 1960s. And so it's supposed to be a cash cow. It's supposed to be a regular earner. It's supposed to be, no hassles, just like we can get money off of this and then focus on other things. But it's turned out to be a real challenging program for Boeing. So, yeah, the fact that their production is capped at 38 aircraft this year per month is very challenging for Boeing. And also for suppliers of Boeing, they have no idea when they can increase production of supplies. So it's actually really bad news for the supply chain. So that's a very kind of, I guess, a big overhang for the company this year.
Indeed, and there are no winners from a situation like this. When Boeing hurts, so does the rest of the industry, and I think that's important to keep in context here. At the same time, what was also very encouraging was Dave Calhoun explicitly accepting responsibility for the situation that the company now faces, and of course accepting responsibility for the issues on this aircraft. But we're going to get more information on that when the NTSB report is released in the coming days. Greg, what do you think that's going to show?
Well, the NTSB report will certainly show a lot of factual details about what actually happened to contribute to this, Alaska Air, door issue. We're going to be very curious to see, what it was. Now, reporting suggests that it was actually installed at Spirit and may have been taken out at Boeing, but we'll have to wait for the report to see. But irrespective, I mean, Boeing really needs to, Boeing used to have like this mythical status as like it's a company very focused on safety, a company that really can execute these very complicated and difficult programs. And now they're really struggling with the 737 and 787, which are actually well understood technologies and which they should be executing well. So I think Boeing really needs to get back to basics, sort out production issues and really try to live up to the almost mythical brilliance of its, illustrious past.